Las Vegas has always sold itself as a dream, a shimmering playground in the middle of the desert where anyone can strike it rich, where luck is just a roll of the dice away. But Martin Scorsese's Casino pulls the curtain back on that fantasy. It reminds us that behind every slot machine and champagne toast, there were men with guns, men with ledgers, and men willing to bury bodies in the sand to keep the lights on. This is the story of when Vegas was run by killers.
Now these old greaseballs might not look it, but believe me, these are the guys who secretly control Las Vegas.
And Casino isn't just recounting mob history. It's about what happens when greed, discipline, and betrayal collide inside a city built to reward excess. Las Vegas shouldn't exist. A sprawling empire in the middle of nowhere born out of nothing but money, corruption, and ambition. That's why Scorsese sets Casino in this environment, because the city itself is a metaphor. Vegas is an oasis that only survives by constantly feeding off the dreams of people who lose more than they win.
Keep them playing and keep them coming back. The longer they play, the more they lose.
Sam Ace Rothstein, played by Robert De Niro, is the film's anchor. A numbers man, precise, methodical, obsessed with getting every detail right. To him, Vegas is a machine that can be fine-tuned. If the dealers are sharp, the games are fair, the skim is managed, the house will always profit. Ace believes in order, in rules, in building the perfect system. But the truth is, Vegas was never about perfection. It was always about appetite. And appetite is messy. Beneath Ace's pristine vision, there are deals with mob bosses back home, money disappearing before it reaches the books, and enforcers making sure no one asks too many questions.
What's that, you hear little girl, Frankie?
The city is built on discipline in the front and violence in the back. Vegas is a mirage, and Scorsese makes us feel that contradiction. The glamorous surface and the ruthless structure holding it up.
I mean, Vegas was like a dream for me. Trouble was, Nicky was dreaming his own kind of Vegas.
Ace's partner, Nicky Santoro, played by Joe Pesci, is the other side of the operation. If Ace is the brain, Nicky is the blunt force.
You shit-kicking, stinky horse-smelling motherfucker, you!
He doesn't negotiate, he doesn't strategize. He intimidates, punishes, and removes problems. This isn't just character contrast, it's symbolic. Ace believes crime can be disguised as business. Nicky knows crime is still crime. One hides it behind a suit, the other wears it on his sleeve. Together, they keep the empire running. Brains to make it efficient, muscle to keep it safe.
I got your head in a fucking vice.
But the tension between them is inevitable. Ace's obsession with order clashes with Nicky's volatility.
You just don't want to go along with me, is that it?
No, I
You
don't
should
want
say
to come.
so.
I don't want to come along with you. I'll be honest with you.
Fine.
Ace wants control, Nicky thrives on fear. And in the world of Casino, both are necessary, but both are doomed. Because the moment either side slips, the whole structure begins to crack.
And he will be ejected from any casino in Las Vegas.
Their relationship mirrors the mob's hold on Vegas itself. Smart management and brute enforcement working together, until greed and ego tear them apart. And then there's Ginger, played by Sharon Stone. To call her just a love interest would be underselling it. Ginger is the heart of Casino's tragedy, a character who represents both the allure of Vegas and its destruction. She's dazzling, magnetic, and for Ace, she embodies everything he believes he can control. But Ginger isn't someone you own. She's addicted to money, to status, to the thrill of always being wanted. No matter what Ace gives her, it's never enough. Her destructive pull mirrors the city itself. Vegas seduces you with glitter and promises, but underneath, it's always taking more than it gives. Ginger spirals into drugs, betrayal, and eventually her downfall, reflecting the same arc as the empire she's tied to. Through her, Scorsese gives us the emotional core of the film. Greed is never satisfied. Desire doesn't end when you get what you want. It grows until it destroys you. The brilliance of Casino is that it doesn't present Vegas as a battle between mobsters and law enforcement. It shows us that empires collapse from within. Ace becomes obsessed with legitimacy, with being respected as more than just a gangster. He plays by his own rules, but in doing so, isolates himself from the very people who empowered him. Nicky, meanwhile, becomes reckless. His greed and paranoia alienate allies and draw unwanted attention.
I fucked up, Frankie. I fucked up good this time.
The real downfall of Vegas wasn't the FBI or a single enemy. It was hubris. It was the belief that you could build an empire on greed without it eventually eating itself alive. The story of Casino is cyclical. The same greed that built the city is the same greed that tears it apart. By the end, Vegas doesn't look like it did at the start. The mobsters are gone, the killers are buried, the skim is finished. And in their place, corporations, shareholders, suits who smile for quarterly reports instead of carrying baseball bats. But Scorsese isn't saying the city became cleaner. He's saying it became sanitized. The same hunger, the same greed, the same exploitation, just hidden behind polished glass and corporate branding. The killers didn't lose. They just got replaced by businessmen who knew how to play the same game without the blood. The casinos didn't stop preying on people's weaknesses. They just dressed it up better. The house still wins. It just wears a different mask. So what do you think? Is Casino showing us the end of an era, or just the same cycle dressed up in new clothes? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more film breakdowns that expose how power, greed, and desire shape our world, hit subscribe. Because the house might always win, but here, we're pulling back the curtain.